This is one of the greatest realizations I've ever had in my entire life, which is that your life is entirely made up of the stories you decide to tell. AKA, the lens through which you view the world influences and becomes your reality. And to give you a little example, two people can interpret the exact same situation differently based on the stories that they're telling. This is going to be a bit of an intense one, but let's say there were two brothers when they were kids and they were abused in some way. And let's say they both grow up and raise families on their own. One could say the story I told was, these bad things happened to me, I was the victim, and I can't do better. So of course that's why I went on to abuse my own children. That's a story. The other child, living through the exact same situation, the same experiences, could go up and raise a family with so much love, unconditional love, and say, the story I choose to tell is that these bad things happened to me, I was abused, and I would never do that to another person, ever. This same situation, same upbringing, let's even say they're twins, but two wildly different stories that they're telling for the same facts that happened to them. And so what's so empowering here is, if you understand this psychologically, your brain is literally designed and is always trying to reinforce your current beliefs and your worldviews. AKA, if you think all men or all women are blank, fill in the blank. Or if you think, money is the root of all blank, your brain is going to seek out evidence to support that, and it's going to disregard everything going against it. This is just literally how our brains are evolutionarily designed to work. And so realizing this gets to the next point, which is, it's time to tell a better story. I want you to start reflecting on, what are the stories that you tell in your life? Who are you? What has happened to you? Are you a victim, or are you a survivor? Are you just another character in the story, or are you the main character? Are you someone who is just unlucky, or are you a hero in the making? Just reflect on, everything through your childhood, through school, through work, through now. What stories do you tell? What beliefs, what identities do you continue to reaffirm about who you are? And then what I want you to do is, we're going to freaking flip the script. I want you to then think about some of the more traumatic, the more difficult, the uncomfortable moments in your life. And I want you to tell, what is the best story you can tell for this situation? And I want you to have fun with it. Make it up. Make it as imaginative as you want. I attended a Tony Robbins event, and this one speaker told a story that I will never forget. And I'm going to give you the short version, unfortunately. And that was, he had this beautiful connection with his mom. And I think she was battling cancer or some health conditions, and one day she passed away. And she gave him the only thing that she gave him that he kept through all of this, was a necklace. He would wear this necklace every single day, thinking about his mom, feeling his connection with her. And it was literally all that he had to remind her of her. The most sentimental piece that he had. And he said this would be his good luck charm. He would talk to his mom through it. He was eventually traveling the world, and it helped bring a sense of home with him wherever he went. And he said, one day I went out swimming in the ocean, and I came back, and I went to grab for my necklace, and it wasn't there. And he's like, panic. My heart sunk. Panic started to drop. I started looking in the ocean, just thinking about, oh my gosh, it could be anywhere in this endless beach. And I was swimming far out. It's probably at the bottom of the ocean. I'm never going to find this. And then he thought, whoa. Let's stop. what's the best story we could tell right now? And he told this beautiful story about, he said, actually, I think I know what happened. My mom has been with me this whole time, helping me grieve, helping me to find love again, helping me to feel healed through the loss that I experienced. And this was her finally saying that he's ready, that he doesn't need her there all the time, and that she needs to go on a little adventure. And he said he imagined, and I get emotional just thinking about it because it's such a beautiful story. He said he imagined sea turtles swam up into the ocean and grabbed it off his neck. And those sea turtles swam through the ocean and gave them to a dolphin. And the dolphins swam around because she always wanted to see Tahiti and Fiji and all these beautiful places. And I just like, oh my gosh. If you can tell the story of losing the most precious family heirloom that reminds you of the most beautiful connection to your parents you ever had in your life. And if you can flip that from, oh my gosh, I just lost the most important thing to me, to, oh, this is beautiful. My mom gets to go on an adventure. Oh my God, that is just so good. That is so empowering. And so what I want you to think about as I wipe away a few tears is when things happen to you, when things don't go as planned, when there are mistakes, when you say something wrong, when something bad happens, I want you to say, what's the best story I could tell here? And another one that I love that comes from Eckhart Tolle's The Power of Now is ask yourself, why did I choose this to happen? Because if you chose it to happen, then you had a pretty dang good reason. There were a lot of benefits for it. So to practice this, what I love to do is to just be self-aware, to start catching myself when I'm telling certain stories. I also like to journal into some of these stories that I find are persistently coming up in my life. Why do they come up? What do they make me feel? Where do they come from? And then finally, I like to visualize a story, a better story that I could be telling. Because you literally don't know all the magical things that are happening in life, that are happening for you. And next, I want you to start seeing yourself as the main character in the greatest movie of all time, your life. And literally this is true. You've seen this a million times in movies, the hero's journey. He has an objective, he or she has an objective, faces some challenges, teams up with some people, and eventually overcomes those challenges. Your life is no different. You are literally living the hero's journey right now. So any obstacles or challenges that you're facing along the way, I want you to be like, hell yes, bring them on. This is exactly what's building me into the resilient, confident, unstoppable character of the movie. So start seeing his challenges as plot twists, obstacles as opportunities for growth, setbacks for setups for what's coming next. And then I want you to do something fun. I want you to start writing the script. What do you want to happen next in your story, in the movie? Who are you going to meet? What are you going to learn? What epiphanies are you going to have? Where are you going to go? And this is a key for manifestation. Of course, we're building you all the beliefs and the internal alignment and energy to manifest, but it's the scripting, it's the writing, it's the visualizing. That is what pulls your desired reality into your current reality. So next, we're going to talk about a thing called reframing, which is really what we've been talking about as a whole. It's when something happens to you, instead of having a negative interpretation of it, reframe it as a positive. And this literally, come here, this is the secret to happiness. If you can reframe anything, any moment, experience, challenge, person into a positive, I'm sorry to say, but you've literally become unstoppable. Like, literally nothing can get you down. And therefore, you are living an eternally happy life. What's so cool here is I've been working really hard to redefine bad things and realizing that there are no bad things, actually. There are either good things, aka things that went how I wanted and aligned with what I wanted. And then there are the times when things don't align with what I want, and what I get there is a lesson. I get a gift of experiencing some new facet of life, from understanding my boundaries some more, understanding what I do want versus what I don't want. And ultimately, all of that gets you more of what you want and desire in this world. So literally, you either get what you want or you get lessons that help you get what you want. That's it. So a huge piece of this is gratitude. I really recommend keeping some kind of gratitude list. I just answer every morning, what are 3 things that I'm grateful for? This really helps condition your mind to start to see all the good things that are always happening around you. My favorite person on this topic is Andrew Huberman. He talks in his podcast about how literally taking even just, 30 seconds to think about a time in which you, or get this, or another person received thanks and gratitude for something, literally increases your dopamine, serotonin, and produces other biochemical changes in your body that positively impact your emotions and your mental health. Just for thinking about it for 30 seconds. And so this is another superpower here. These things are what's really leading to long-lasting happiness and fulfillment. And when I think about it, that's what we're here for, right? And what is so cool is this whole state. Once you tell better stories, you see yourself as the main character. You're reframing obstacles as positive things. And you're focusing on gratitude. This state of being that you're building, these new thoughts, beliefs, and patterns in your mind are what allow you to literally attract anything you want. You're literally now conditioning your mind to see positives everywhere you go. You no longer dwell on the past and live in the past. What's so cool is through this, I've literally given up regrets. When people say, what's your biggest regret? I'm like, and it's taken me time, it's okay, it takes practice on this, but I'm like, nothing. I used to say staying in a toxic relationship for 6 years. I regretted that. And then I realized, no, that has shaped me into the incredible person I am today. It has given me wisdom and experiences and deepened my sense of empathy more than maybe anything else could have. It also gave me absolute clarity on what I wanted in relationships and who I am as a person. And so through all this, I also realized that I can no longer make mistakes, that literally all choices are good choices. All choices lead to things that I want. Of course, if you want to double down on that and reinforce it with the universe or God or whoever you believe in, is always directing you to the right path, even when you think you're veering off. And then ultimately, all of this helps keep you in a high vibe state, which under the law of vibrations and law of attraction means you're just going to attract more people and situations that are aligned with that. More people who see the world in an optimistic, positive lens. And the last thing I want to say on this is if you're saying, cool, this is all fine and dandy, John, but it's freaking hard. My mind is a scary place to live in and I don't like it. That's okay. We don't need to change these things overnight like that. These things take practice. And I'm not saying this as a certain time frame for you. Everyone's different. But I was in therapy for 5 years, working on things like codependency and low self-worth. I mentioned it before, I was in that toxic relationship for 6 years. I was in another one for 3 years that was just so not the right match for me. I spent 12 years working on a career to become a corporate lawyer and practicing for 5 of those years, all to realize that wasn't the right life path for me. But through the stories I decided to tell, it was that each of those experiences was molding me into the person I am that I was always destined to become. That some of those hardships and some of the hardships I faced as a kid were merely gifts in shaping me into the person I am so proud to be today. And if you can't say that same thing right now, that's okay. If you can't say I'm proud to be me, but I promise you can get there with time, with self-awareness, with consistency on this. And really, the biggest thing I've learned, it's the courage. The courage to really look at yourself, to really evaluate the stories that you're telling, to really evaluate, are those beliefs and thoughts really serving me, or is it time to let go of them? And then ultimately, the courage to choose to be happy. The courage to choose love over hate, to choose healing over suffering, and to choose living in the present moment towards a future you desire instead of living in the past. And so I hope this was helpful. If so, leave some thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear what part of this comes naturally for you, what parts feels difficult, or maybe where are you getting stuck? We're all in this together. And so, yeah, write about it and let's support each other. And so, in case no one has told you today, my friend, you are perfect exactly as you are. You are worthy of your wildest dreams, and I love you. And with that, my friend, I will see you in the next one.